Hello, this is Nick995. For this video, I'm going to be talking about specifically how I rank my games, like how I rank my games and the process that I use to, help me, through it. And if you're watching this, please like, subscribe, share the video all over, please, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and share the video. And I have a question for you guys. If you guys know how to record PS2 footage, PS2 or PS3 footage, please let me know down below, as I don't know how to. So yeah, how I rank games. I rank games. It's simple. I rank them off of progression. Is the game fun? Is there bad level design versus good level design? Is a lot of emphasis on? Is there a lot of slow gameplay, mechanics, and all that? So yeah. So sometimes I look at a game. I'll look at a game like Crash Bandicoot. No, not Crash Bandicoot. That's a good example. I'll compare like a game like Metal Gear Solid and Near Automata, for example. Then I'll look at it and then I would kind of rank them category by category. Metal Gear Solid has, in my opinion, is probably the best. Like from a gameplay perspective, it's probably probably has like one of the best gameplay and mechanics that I've ever played. Because the running feels so real, the shooting feels so real, the zoom in, the crosshairs and everything. The stealth is very good. And obviously with Near is more of a arcadey style action adventure, and it's anime based kind of game. So you're not gonna get as much realistic mechanics as you will in Metal Gear Solid 5, which is based on obviously like kind of a military fighting and all that. So even though Metal Gear Solid 2 like is fiction, but yeah, it's set up more like in the real world. So but it's kind of like sometimes too, it's immersion. Immersion is how much you feel a part of that game world. So obviously, like a game like Skyrim, for example, Skyrim is probably one of the most immersive games ever. That's why that's a part of why I ranked it one. And Skyrim never gets for the most part, like, it never gets boring. You want to play more. You're immersed into it, and then even like when you play 50 hours, like there's still so much more to do. There's always something more to do. Red Dead 2, for example, same thing. You're so immersed in the world. It's probably the most actually Red Dead 2 is probably the most immersive game that I have. Besides King Kong and Resident Evil 2 and Dead Space 2, Red Dead Redemption 2 is like, oh my god, like this masterpiece in terms of immersion. Like you really feel what it would be like to be a cowboy in that era, and the cops are after you. There's so many factions. There's different, well, not factions, but gangs and bounty hunters after you. So you gotta be very careful. So something like Red Dead Redemption 2 would be ranked higher than Red Dead 1, which is again more isolating. Sometimes it's just that one thing what I don't like in a game. Sometimes it can be like the world does feel as isolating. The world doesn't feel as real. Obviously, Red Dead 2 had a lot better, in my opinion. It had better NPCs and AI. The AI was better. Mechanics were better. So yeah. Other times I look at a game like, man, what's a good example here now? Infamous 2. Infamous 2 I'll look at, and then so I'll think to myself, okay, Infamous 2, action adventure, open world. Well, more open world. You have superpowers. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of different, like there's, like it's kind of a, like a sort of a mixed genre game. But Infamous 2 is the world feels so real. Again, the world feels so real. You really feel, and the mechanics too are, like it's upgraded. It's a like it's a huge upgrade from Infamous 1 in terms of how you run, how you climb. It feels a lot more realistic. So that realism and in mechanics, and again how the enemies would react to, like if you zap them or whatever. In Infamous 2, there's extra attention to detail, where if you zap somebody, when you zap them, you'll realize that like he'll show like he'll show you the reflection of their skeleton, kind of, so like kind of like the silhouette, and then you see the skeleton through it, so you see them shocked. So I really like that attention to detail. Like the other day, if you go back and watch my PS4 ranking video, you'll see that I had games like Ghost of Tsushima low, ranked like in the middle, near the middle, and Avengers, or even what's another good example? Ratchet and Clank. Those games I rank. Sometimes I just rank them like in the middle because those games, like, even though some of them may be immersive or they may be fun to play, sometimes it's just hard to quantify because like you play a game and realize this game there's something missing, but it's hard to quantify. So you can't put it over games that okay, like this game is very immersive, so and fun, like with good mechanics. So you can't put it over a game like like for example Horizon Zero Dawn or Metal Gear Solid, because those experiences were more memorable to me, like playing that. So that's yeah. Sometimes it's just a game being less memorable is what puts it low, like on the list for me. Another thing too, progression and progression linked to microtransactions I don't like, which is why I put Avengers relatively lower, like on the list. I would put it higher. No, like I would have put it higher, but if it took out the microtransactions for the cosmetic, if it didn't have those annoying, microtransaction based, uh, you know, mechanics in the game, like I would have ranked it higher. And because obviously though now, like if you play as Captain America, you play as Iron Man, you want them to look differently eventually in the game because you're going to be playing with them a lot. You want them to look differently, but there's this big barrier like in the game, forcing you to know, well, saying that okay, you can't get this until you pay this, or pay to win. It's kind of pay to win or pay to get extra content. So yeah, again, Avengers. And another important thing I want to talk about too it is a level design and the mission are repetitive. This is probably like one of the most important, like probably like one of the most important. Like if I'm looking at all the categories and how I rank games, it's probably like a top three most important trait like of a game that needs to be in the game. As you know, Witcher 3, Uncharted 4, um, what's another? Is Crash Bandicoot, GTA 5, Red Dead 2. Those are in my top 10 because I really looked at a part of the reason why they were there, because there's a lot of gameplay variety to them. There's a lot of gameplay variety. Now sometimes it can be subjective because you look at Red Dead 2, most of the missions kind of play out like the same, the shootouts and all that. But sometimes it's like how obviously you're gonna with Red Dead 2, I can't just run and gun, otherwise are you gonna get killed? You're gonna get killed like pretty quickly. GTA 5, you're doing many, obviously there's lots of different missions. There's one where you have to do heist. There's other ones where you have to race. Like that Devin Weston guy that wanted the cars. You're racing in the supercars. There's one where you have to chase somebody, or you gotta drive away from somebody. And there's other ones where you're gonna be with Lester. Again, spoilers, you're gonna be Lester. You gotta be in a position to hack a certain part like of the bank. So yeah, mission of variety matters. It's a big. It's a huge quality. Witcher 3, another one, ranked high because Witcher 3 had a whole nother mechanism to it where you make a choice. Okay, I'll go back and watch my Witcher 3 review from last November. You make a choice, right? And then so that choice or a dialogue option would kind of impact the story like in different ways. But these moments they're not that common. So once every 3 to 4 main missions, like you'll have this choice, and then like you gotta really, like it gives you so much time to decide. Would it make would it make sense for me to go with this choice, and then like if I go with this choice, it's gonna impact the story in many ways. Obviously, Witcher 3, you fight monsters, you're fighting humans and bandits and all sorts of things, and there can be soldiers coming after you, and there's this super sense, so you can sense things like in the world, and these super senses help you unlock different areas like in the world, no, or discover certain areas like in the world, or discover certain creatures. So yeah, variety is huge. Games with bad mission variety, again, Avengers 1, um, Avengers 1, what's another one? Achilles Zone type, Achilles Zone, Shadowfall. A lot of the lower tier games that I ranked, well, not lower tier games, games that I would rank lower compared to other ones. A lot of them I didn't like the mission variety, didn't have the mission variety, so that's why they were ranked lower. Another thing, sometimes the game is just, I play the game, you can't really get into it. Like Dark Souls 3, I know it's a relatively high ranked game amongst fans, but I didn't like it that much because again, Dark Souls had a lot of mechanics in the game that I didn't like. You couldn't swing your sword a certain way if you don't have the stamina. You gotta upgrade stamina. You gotta upgrade health in order to carry, like a certain amount of weight. So there's that, mechanic in it. So I didn't really like, and you can't pause the game. It's RPG. The game starts out hard. And yeah, so there's a lot of annoying things with that. Mass Effect Andromeda, not a bad game, but boring to me. Overall boring, which is why I put it low. And boring, like bland character design and acting, voice acting, glitches. Same thing with Watch Dogs and all that. Bland, boring story, character design. A lot of these games would rank higher if you could take away those things. If you could add more interest to it and add more, fix up the mechanics and glitches and all that. So yeah, that's kind of like how I rank my games and what goes through my mind. Again, ranking games is not easy. It's not an easy process. It takes a lot of time and thought. You gotta really, like you're looking back. You gotta really look back and see. And then again, like some games you're not gonna have a clear memory of because you haven't played in a long time. Sometimes you gotta replay the game and see how it ranks up like with other games or with newer gaming experiences. So it takes that time. Sometimes that you guys will see I even miss games on my ranking list like Titanfall 2 and what's the other one? Injustice 1 on my PS3 ranking video. Titanfall 2 I forgot to rank a couple days ago or last Sunday because I wasn't on the list. Sometimes I mistake Battlefield 1, which is what you're seeing here, with Titanfall 2, so it wasn't on the list. So I just ranked them side by side, like in the same ranking. That's my mistake. So, but anyways, please please check out my ranking videos. I share those videos too. Please like, subscribe, share this video. Thank you very much.